Alright, welcome back folks to more Triangle Strategy. Last time we played we were grinding a lot so we can reach the recommended level of 26 because we've got a big fight coming up. Gonna do the Grand Norzellian Mines, and there's bombs everywhere and mine carts, so it should be pretty interesting. Hopefully we'll be strong enough to manage.
The Frosty mean to seal off the mine.
Do not let them through the tunnel. Kill them.
But this is House Wolfort we're up against, Commander.
You think I don't know that? The battle won't be easily won. But if we've the metal to use our explosives, victory may cost us our lives, but we can take those Wolfort curs with us. For Frost, for an end to Hyzantian tyranny. We must blockade the mines. Soldiers, make ready.
Aye! No, they don't mean to.
They would blow the tunnel at the cost of their own lives?
Are they trying to make their parents cry? Let me help you beat some sense into these fools, my lord.
Your aid is most welcome, Trish.
Bombs. Allow even a single explosive to detonate. What? How do I... Detonates in 70 turns. How does one stop the bomb? Okay, only 10 units. Yeah, we got our recommended boys.
Understood.
Who are we bringing along for this one? If it's a turn, I wouldn't bring Pictoletta because her decoy takes a turn. And while she's extremely funny, we're kind of, you know, limited. Yeah, Ian's is there. Trish, Sarah, Noah, Anna, Ian's, Frederica, Gila, Flanagan, Julio, Erador. I'll probably switch. No, actually, you're not even with us, Flanagan. We need a mechanic. Might need a ladder. I swear, you guys and your freaking ladders. Do I bring Erador? Fire starters and bombs sounds like not a good idea. Yeah, we could bench Frederica for someone else. There is Ice Boy.
Understood.
I mean, this looks pretty... Oh, Trish is a required unit. Eh? Oh, we could get Erador into this and then woo, bonk, slap him here, ladder up there. Bring Ian's here, ladder there. We could bring Trish out here. There's no one here. It's only wizards. We can put Roland in there. Anna as well. Okay, stage overview. There's a bomb. Explosives. Explosives set by the timer are set to detonate. Explosives set by the enemy are set to detonate on a timer. Move next to the enemy explosives and disarm them before they detonate. Oh, okay, that's it. Oh my god, it's so complicated.
Comrades, we will seal off the mines, whatever it takes.
If it costs us our lives to destroy our enemy, so be it. Detonate the charges and let them rot in pieces among the iron.
We've no hope if they set off the explosives. Do not take this lightly. They're willing to martyr themselves to defeat us.
The bastards think they can take us down with them? Sorry, but I got better things to do than get blown up.
Come at me!
All right. How do I get in?
Push on through!
Ha! Desperate soldiers sure do make for easy marks.
You're not a thief anymore. If you do anything to tarnish the Wolfort name...
Hey, what kind of second-rate goon do you take me for? I don't make mistakes, ever.
Time to work.
So I can't get on the cart. Oh no, I can. Can you? Can you not? I want to ride the mine cart.
Shadows conceal me.
Charge!
If I call the cart, because if, oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh, is that how it works? Hey! Once again, Roland's gonna get one shot. Oh, come on. Did he just drop a bomb?
All right, the rest of you, keep going. Blow up the tunnel and seal off the mine.
Damn! We need to hurry before the explosives go off.
For the honor of House Wolfort.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Okay, I want Bird of Prey on Ian's.
This should do.
I feel like I can do anything.
It's just the movement buff.
Make
Calm down.
way.
Okay, I got an idea here.
I shall do my best.
Whee!
I don't play around. Bullseye.
Yeah, let's light him up right next to the bomb.
I must remain calm.
Can I not put a ladder here? No ladder.
Shall we begin?
It would have been nice if I could heal Roland, but
Make the most of this.
speed up. Wait a minute.
Strike while the iron's
Could I
hot.
not call the cart? Oh!
Where was I?
A cold wind blows.
You're joking. My research bears fruit.
You won't beat me! I love the battlefield.
Oh, shoot. Let's go, Anna. None of that garbage.
Shadows conceal me.
Ooh, but she's right on the track. Well, hopefully they don't see her.
Damn.
I'll try this.
From where shall we strike?
Pretty bold of you there, buddy.
On your guard.
Counter?
Cool heads shall prevail. Be at ease.
The tides are turning.
I see a path to victory.
Farewell!
Another bomb?
I'll give it my best.
Isn't this kind of illegal? I don't want them to hit my turret, but...
Here's a little something special for you.
Time to take action.
Take this.
Hello, me.
Time for some research.
That movement.
I've been waiting for this.
My lance strikes true. I shirk from no danger.
God damn, that's some range.
For the honor of House Wolfort.
Have another.
For my kith and kin.
We gotta move. Killing the mage though might be a better idea, but I gotta defuse the bomb.
Back
Back at you.
Oh, that works.
Shall we begin?
That really works. Yeah, just call the cart, I guess.
Ready for battle.
I see a path to victory. It is time to strike.
It's a fun little level, though.
Victory is assured.
A lot of mobility. Let's go help out Ian's.
Yeah. Sound strike.
Have another.
God damn it, Ian's.
Try this. Victory is within reach.
I'll help you.
Now then, to work.
A cold wind blows. I must remain calm. This'll do it.
You're open.
Ian's,
Time to take
please
action.
do something. So we'll call the cart.
Come at me!
Enjoy!
Much obliged.
For victory!
There we go.
Away with you!
Push him off. Kind of worried about the bomb, though.
From where shall we strike?
I don't want to say the guy's in the way, but he is in the way. Hey, my archer. Did he just drop a bomb?
Your orders?
Oh, that's just rude.
Suffer. Victory is within reach.
Have another!
I feel stronger already. Let me heal your wounds. Your wounds are healed.
The whole gang is here.
Ready for battle.
Good thing Trish has great movement. No bombs allowed.
Back at you!
So, it falls to me.
A cold wind blows.
That didn't work.
I'm pretty sure
Time
it
to
worked.
take action.
Pretty sure it worked. What do we do with Julio here?
Here goes.
An honor and a privilege.
Been having a pretty quiet fight here.
I must remain calm.
Ian's is 26.
There is no mercy on the battlefield. Just as I planned.
Hello, me. My turn.
At least Roland is getting some work in.
You won't beat me.
Together.
Now, there's no way this guy is surviving.
My turn.
Chop.
This is the end.
Have another.
For the duchy! For the loved ones awaiting word of our triumph! We will win this, one way or another!
Oh boy, don't put bombs.
Stay on your guard, my friends.
Cool heads shall prevail.
Healing Roland or... probably should heal Serenoa. Or Trish.
Be at ease.
Huh, that feels good. Make way.
Trish has no TP. Because she's using the other move.
For the honor of House Wolford.
The other thing.
I need this.
That's right. If you're nameless, you have no chance.
Where was I?
Time to take action. I won't lose!
Take that. Did you see that? Did you see that?
I saw that. Better not drop a bomb.
It's time.
Ian's. You know, if it was there, a nice ladder here would be great. No, a ladder here might not be too shabby.
I'll show you what I can do.
Absolute mad lad.
There is no mercy on the battlefield. It is time to strike.
Gotta pull my weight.
That's right. This ain't your regular ladder.
Come at me. Push on through.
We're going with the ladder ending. This is our playthrough.
Time to work.
Sure hope I'm not hitting Ian's.
This'll hurt.
Oops. Sorry, Ian's.
This'll hurt.
Bada bing.
Make way.
Forward.
Get rid of this.
Perish. Now. For my kingdom.
There we go. Rolling, getting the levels.
Shall we begin?
Rolling with the levels.
Allow me.
I will remember this.
Time for some research.
Slow ass characters.
Whatever it takes.
I was expecting a bit more movement out of you there, buddy. Now, it would be funny if, like, enemies showed up on the opposite side. A bomb?
For victory.
I thought the game was like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do. Do I dare? Bonk.
Not good.
Ian's. Oh, wait a minute.
I've got it.
The trap is set.
Let us pry out their weakness. This should do.
Our victory is assured.
Come at me!
I will end this. Suffer.
About a TP. No, I can still throw a Firestone.
For you. Victory is within reach.
Ready for battle. Take that!
I was on an ice field. Will Jilla reach? She should. I fell for it! The absolute idiot! Excuse me? The carts are only for me. Oh,
Forward.
boy. Oh, boy.
Let me heal your wounds.
Thank you.
God damn it, Ian's. Why did you have to get in the way?
What a relief.
My growth is plain to see.
So, it falls to me.
I see through you. Time to take action. I will do what I can.
Right then, what's next?
I won't lose.
Roland can defuse the bomb. Still 55. Or we go for the archer.
Take that! You don't stand a chance.
Going for Benny.
Let us try out their weakness.
Well, I'm just gonna go back then. Sorry.
We must move fast. For the future of House Wolford.
My turn.
Allow me.
I've been waiting for this.
Come on, how does provoke not reach there? I guess I can call a cart. I can't even call. Okay, well, I guess we'll go here. Throw Firestone.
I must remain calm. How about
Throw him a
this?
tiny net.
I can do this.
From where shall we strike? Leave it to me!
All right, we got 23% steal.
You're done for! Bullseye!
Together.
You couldn't steal anything. 21% steal. Couldn't steal anything. Ugh. Oh, I knew it!
Wolford bastards! We'll have no home to return to if we fail to seal the mines off.
I knew it!
More soldiers. We need to stop them before they can set off the explosives.
Good try!
Shall we begin?
Be at ease.
Ah, that feels good.
So, it falls to me.
Well, Thornton, we gotta go back.
Time to take action.
All right. Julio, defuse the bomb.
I won't lose! Huh!
Yeah!
I will end this.
Or I just kill this guy. Or I kill this guy.
Ha! Sound strike. Ha! Sound strike.
There is no mercy on the battlefield. This should do.
Gotta pull my weight.
You won't beat me!
I feel like he's gonna... Yeah.
Push on through!
So it comes to battle.
Alright, Ians, you got one job. Smack this guy.
Ah! Ah!
From where shall we strike?
We're gonna strike right here.
This ends here!
We win.
Make way. You're done for.
Couldn't steal anything. Don't drop a bomb out the turret. MVP, MVP. You get 1 TP for every turn you have, except that is bold. He is bolding.
So, it falls to me.
Freeze!
Shall we begin?
All right, G, we need some healing, but I don't know on who. Oh, no. We need healing. Old man? Benny? Ah, it's Julio in the gang.
This is what I do.
Thank you.
For victory!
Whatever it takes.
You've got this!
Yeah, so Julio can give like 2 TP, which is pretty huge. He's really a TP generator. Yeah, no bombs. It's a bombless society I'm trying to build here.
This'll hurt.
I shall try my level best. This is our chance.
That certainly helps.
You won't beat me!
Slow ass Erador.
Push on through!
It's time.
Alright, Ians. Get the turret on.
Here's a little something special for you.
From where shall we strike?
Now I end this. That hit the mark. For my kith and kin.
Ready for battle.
Or... No, there's no way. We'll stay up here. They'll probably try to take a shot. Yeah, you can only have one turret. Just that spinning slash, though. Iceman!
I have
Roland!
I'm a fool.
Are we not finished?
No, well, we're finished, all right.
My research bears fruit.
Let me heal your wounds.
Where were you, Gila? When I needed you the most.
This is what I do.
Much obliged. I will end this.
Okay, this guy can freaking die.
Yeah. Victory is within reach. It's over. Victory is within reach.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, nice spin slash. However,
I see a path to victory.
My turn. I've been waiting for this. Out of my way.
rammed.
I must remain calm. Here you go.
Thank you.
From where shall we strike?
Oh, we'll strike right here. Give him a little
I'll make
delay.
this quick.
Point me at him!
Point me at him.
You're wide open!
Ah! You've done it now!
My turn. Too easy.
Big jumps.
Into the shadows.
Are we not finished?
I mean, you're pretty finished there, champ. You can take a rest. Eat some pellets.
Shall we begin?
This is what I do.
That's much better. Whatever it takes.
We can do this.
Ooh.
Impressed?
Victory is not yet out of reach.
No, victory's right here.
That seems to work.
You're wide open! I love the battlefield.
So close. If only there was a movement spice. Is there? No. If only. Well, I got nothing else to do, so might as well heal Eridor.
Try this.
I owe ya. You won't beat me! Push on through!
Alright, got only
I'll give
one
it my best.
more guy to defeat. We're not gonna build a ladder for this. While funny,
Aim and...
Defeat is not an option. Death from above!
it's over.
This is the end.
You've left yourself open.
His frosty soldiers have been dealt with.
They must be crazy to even consider blowing themselves up like that.
The mine is ours again. But why was Esfrost so desperate to keep it from us?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Whoa! That's funny. That is some cash money.
That was close. To think they tried to collapse the tunnel with themselves still inside.
Why would the Esfrosti blow themselves up to destroy the place they were charged to defend? It makes no strategic sense.
Nothing Esfrost does make sense. But if they were this desperate, there must be something in there they do not want us finding. We must see what lies at the end of this tunnel.
Now let us press on.
Oh!
These pink rocks aren't iron.
It's salt. Or rather... salt crystal.
Crystallized salt, untapped beneath the earth. The Rosellan legend my mother recorded is true.
The Grand Norzellian mines must have been built upon a vein of crystals. This explains how Esfrost was able to cut ties with Hyzant.
As long as they could excavate their own, they didn't need to rely on the salt from the Holy State. They could fight without it.
How do you think Gustadolf discovered this?
Lord Dragan was in charge of the mines, until he was assassinated in that sudden Esfrosti raid, which Gustadolf used as a pretense to invade Glenbrook, after which he claimed control of the mines. That tells me Lord Dragan was likely the first to discover the salt crystals. However, a struggle ensued between him and Gustadolf over their ownership.
So Gustadolf had him killed and ordered the invasion of Glenbrook. In order to seize control of the mines and secure the salt crystals for himself. That scheming bastard!
Looks like we made the right call, taking back the mines. We already took loads of salt crystals to the Duchy, but even that ain't gonna last them forever.
Indeed. If we can hold the mines, Esfrost will have no choice but to surrender.
And what if they discover another vein of salt crystals elsewhere?
A real possibility, if the Rosellan legend is to be believed. But the Grand Norzellian mines only succeeded because all three powers worked together. If this is the kind of terrain salt crystals are found in, Esfrost cannot dig a new mine all on their own that easily.
Meaning they are at their most vulnerable now, without a source of salt to call their own.
This does not concern only Esfrost. The existence of salt crystals will undermine the very foundation upon which Hyzant is built.
If people knew that, then the two pillars of Hyzantian power, the source and the might of their goddess, would crumble.
And it would prove the Rosellan legend is true. If we reveal the truth, they would be forced to free the Roselle they've imprisoned.
We hold the very future of Norzelia in our hands.
Or they don't.
Whatever we decide to do, we cannot decide it lightly.
Indeed. For now, let us return to the Crown City. Huet, send word to the capital. I want Kingdom soldiers posted around this entire area. Tell them to allow no one anywhere near the mines.
It shall be done, sire.
Milo, what are you doing here?
This must be what the old man was hoping to find.
So, our army failed to secure the Grand Norzellian mines.
It would seem House Wolfort interfered. Glenbrook forces already surround the area, so retaking the mines is likely out of the question.
They must have discovered the salt crystals. Damn them. Gather our soldiers, and be quick about it.
Aye, Your Grace.
I see you finally decided to answer my summons, Svarog.
I shan't use laboring in secret to complete the death's knell as an excuse. Punish me as you see fit. If you think you can, that is.
I ought to wipe that impertinent smile off your face.
I saw what they brought in from the Grand Norzellian mines.
Huh. So you know of the salt crystals?
Enough secrets, Gustadolf. Tell me what you are planning.
To use those salt crystals to put the final nail in Hyzant's coffin. To free the people of Norzelia from their tyranny by ending their monopoly over salt.
By which you mean the strong will be free to trample the weak. Is that it?
I will not argue semantics. Though it is at least far more human to struggle for one's own survival, rather than capitulate to the whims of some goddess. People have the right to discover their own strength, and wield it to claim what is rightfully theirs. Just as you are contesting me at this very moment, Uncle.
How long have you known of the salt crystal's existence?
I learned of the possibility long ago, when I read of them in an old text from the archives. Ancient knowledge should never be discarded, as you well know, since you had Dragan study there to perfect his explosives.
You are the one who had him killed.
Spare me your unfounded speculation.
Unfounded, you say? Dragan oversaw the mine. It only stands to reason that he would have discovered the salt crystals first. So you, in your greed, had him killed, so that you might claim his discovery for your own! Not only that, but you used his murder as a pretext to invade Glenbrook. Am I wrong?
Huh. You have an admirable imagination. Admirable, but mistaken. Your son was quite the ambitious man, you know.
What do you mean?
You know very well what I mean. Indeed, Dragan did discover the salt crystals. Who else do you think told me of their existence? Yet he refused to hand them over unless I made him Prime Minister of Esfrost. And your son's scheming didn't end there. At the same time, he had initiated negotiations with Glenbrook. He offered them salt crystals in exchange for a noble title. He sought to fatherland and foe for all he could get.
Lies! All of it! How dare you dishonor my son's name!
I thought if anyone understood the extent of Dragan's ambition, it would be you. Uncle, now is not the time for family squabbles. Glenbrook now knows of the Salt Crystals. It is but a matter of time until Hyzant learns of them as well. We must make ready to stand against them.
What would you have me do?
The Death's Knell is taking far too long to build. See that it is finished with haste. Do that, and I will name you my Prime Minister, so you may fulfill your dearly departed son's dream in his stead.
Very well.
There is no time to waste. War will be upon our doorstep before we know it. A war to end all wars. A war whose victor shall rule Norzelia in her glorious entirety.
Okay, well, I wasn't I thought someone would die. You know, like a title, Sleep My Friend. Oh, it got greenified.
In the Grand Norzelian mines lay a most unexpected discovery. Crystals of pure salt. Now in possession of knowledge that could alter the course of history in Norzelia, the members of House Wolford gather at Whiteholm Castle to discuss their next move.
Unexpected though it may be, the salt crystals are now ours. How shall we proceed?
Carefully, for it has the potential to alter the balance of power across Norzelia. This is an opportunity to reshape the realm to our benefit. We must be strategic.
It's a target on our backs is what it is. There'll be no peace for us so long as we hold him.
Hyzant will set upon us with a fury we've never known if they hear of this.
She's right. They will stop at nothing to defend their faith.
Nor will Esfrost go quietly into the night.
Then let us prepare for when word does spread, rather than fret over how long we can keep the secret. Whether we protect the salt as ours or find another way to use it, we must act soon.
What say you, Your Majesty?
We find ourselves at a crossroads. Not just as a kingdom, but an entire realm. Our decision will touch every life in Norzelia. I too wish to act quickly. But I beg you all for a moment alone with my thoughts.
Your caution is admirable, but ill-advised. Hesitation could cost us everything.
That much is obvious. Yet I cannot race headlong into the unknown when so much depends upon us.
Benedict, I find myself unmoored as well. I wish to hear from all present before we decide upon a course of action.
As you wish. Pray let it be swift.
Serenoa, answer me this. Can I count on you to walk the path with me, whatever it may be?
I was named Lord of House Wolfort long before I was inducted into the Saintly Seven. And I've been your friend even longer still.
Say no more. Take the others to Castle Wolfort and await my word. Likewise, inform me of any movements from Hyzant.
As you wish. Until we meet again.
Oh. Little side story here.
Made it in time, my lord.
Eridor, you came.
Lady Destra. Your mother was loved by one and all, my lord. Honoring her this day is the least we can do. Is it just you here, my lord?
We are beset on all sides by tasks large and small. I would not impose my familial obligations on the others.
Spoken like a true leader. Me and your mother may not have been family by blood, but duty bound us just as close.
I am sure she would have been overjoyed to see you by my side. I never had a chance to know her. My only memories are from stories others told me. And still, I somehow can feel the warmth of her embrace, hear the loving sound of her voice.
She was smitten, that is true. She held on to you so tightly, I reckon not even the Dawn Spear could have pried you from her.
Did she?
Lady Destra's smile was brighter than the sun, and near as constant. She treated young Benedict and I like little brothers, though at times we weren't so deserving of her care. Even so, she always had a kind word, and worry enough to spare. There weren't a woman like her in all of Norzelia.
I did not know the bond between you three ran so deep. Benedict never mentioned it.
His lips aren't as loose as mine, especially when it comes to Lady Destra. Speaking of which, here. Your mother would have loved to get one of these from you.
A snowbell? My father mentioned her fondness for these flowers. Every year when I visited her, without fail, one of these would be placed in front of her grave. Was that you all this time?
Well, not exactly, my lord.
They're quite rare, are they not? I often search for them, but I have yet to see one in bloom. Where did you find it?
Well, I made a journey down south. Benedict insisted. Apologies for my absence, my lord.
There is naught to apologize for. It was a thoughtful gesture, and I thank you for it. Somehow, I can feel Mother smiling down upon us.
More than I deserve, if I'm being honest.
Huh. There's already a snowbell. Who could have...
Should have known. Nothing will stop him from his duty.
What was that?
It was nothing, my lord. Seems we're not the only ones carrying a torch for Lady Destra.
Indeed. We are fortunate to be part of such a close-knit house. And that is thanks to those who serve it. I trust I'll see you here again in a year's time, Eridor.
Of course, my lord. Snowbells might capture a moment in time, but your mother inspired loyalty for an eternity.
It was Benny. He did it. Oh, we've got some story to do. Go to the encampment first. We got a lot of money. Oh, that reminds me, we wanted to upgrade at least level 2. What do we need? Silver, oak, 3 silvers, eh? We only got 2. Though 15 more health might be really good. So this... Like, Roland needs so much help. Hey! Yeah, you know what? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not yet. Maybe if you stop charging Roland into battle head first, he might survive longer. I don't think so. Which one is Moment of Truth? Oh, for only one? Oh, that would be insane. What do I need for that? That would be insane. Polyiron. That would make Julio even stronger. Should we upgrade Roland? I feel like Roland's gonna skip town eventually. Nah. Four dragons. Sure. Up in potency by 10. Ooh. Ooh. He bad. I'll make him better. Oh, Maxwell's here. Stay there. We don't have the materials for his upgrades, though. Piccoletta. What a meme character that we elevated. What a meme character. Which meme? No, not Serenoa. Serenoa is not a meme character. You know the one. Not Ian's. I feel like giving this to like every character because Lightning has been such such a pain. Alright, Roland should be a lot stronger now. That bracelet seems very strong. Immunity to silence? Oh, we're out of money again. He did it again! Wasted all the money! Lord Serenoa. After my battle with General Evlora, I fell into the river. I was content then, knowing Prince Roland had been saved. But after returning from the brink of death, I realized that I have been given a second chance. And I wish to use that chance to bring a swift end to all this bloodshed. Grind more. I only grind if there's a new level. And there is not a new level, so we will not grind. Alright, time for more story. Let's go find out what's going on with the Hyzantians.
Ah, Milo has sent a dispatch from Glenbrook. Deep within the Grand Rosalian mines lies... It would seem salt crystals were found within.
Impossible!
The discovery of salt outside the source explains Gustadolf's recent provocations.
How can you be so calm? The teachings tell us that salt is a blessing, bestowed only upon the goddess's followers. The discovery of these salt crystals is an existential threat to Hyzant.
Salt crystals are salt too. We need only keep word of this discovery from spreading.
Of course. But how?
The Hierophant has spoken. Minister Exham, you shall raise an army and seize the Grand Rosalian mines in Hyzant's name.
Oh boy!
The Hierophant asks us to invade Glenbrook?
Do you have another way to silence King Roland and his royal hounds in House Wolfort?
Minister Serenoa is one of us, and thus is honor-bound to heed the Hierophant's word. But we know not if he will do so, or if he will cast his lot with his precious king. You shall ask him yourself when you surround Castle Wolfort en route to the mine.
And if he resists?
You are free to deal with him, as we do with all who forsake the goddess.
Oh boy. Back to war, I guess. Sounds like endgame. Yeah, it's looking pretty endgame to me. It looks like we're all going for the salt mines.
Have you heard the popular rumor, Lord Claris?
That Hyzant intends to raise an army against Glenbrook? Yes, I am familiar.
So it's reached the consortium then. Is it true?
King Roland has only just reclaimed the Crown City with Hyzant's help, not to mention restored relations with them. Ordinarily, such a thing would be unthinkable, but the rumors are so persistent that I think something may be afoot.
For example?
I wouldn't be so restless if I had an example to give.
Esfrost gathers its troops at Twinsgate. Might they have heard the rumors as well?
Perhaps. A battle for the very soul of Norzelia may loom on the horizon. But therein lies the opportunity for merchants like us. You can't wage war without a surfeit of supplies.
You're quite right about that.
And each shift in Norzelia's power balance opens new business opportunities.
Profiteers.
Will the Consortium continue trading with Hyzant?
'Tis difficult to say. I believe House Wolfort's actions from here on will be key to the Consortium's decision.
House Wolfort, you say?
Indeed. They've been involved in most every conflict between the three nations on this continent. Why stop now? I shall wait and see how Lord Serenoa responds first, lest I make any hasty decisions.
No, he's not wrong. We've been in every battle.
I am gladdened to see each and every one of you, my ironclad brothers in arms, here at Twinsgate. I have asked you here to tell you of a most fortuitous discovery. We have found crystals of salt deep in the Grand Norzelian mines. Alas, Glenbrook has taken those very mines from us. What's worse, Glenbrook's esteemed House Wolfort is led by one of the Saintly Seven of Hyzant. They will no doubt be informed of the salt crystals, and their precious religion will be shaken to its core. I trust you can all imagine how Hyzant will respond to such an affront. They will not go quietly, but will instead seek the crystals for themselves, that their reign of terror may continue unimpeded. Therefore, we must subdue Glenbrook and seize the mines for Esfrost if we are to counter this grave threat. But we cannot stop there, for that will only draw Hyzant to our gates. They will stop at nothing to conquer all of Norzelia in their name. The Duchy has never been in a more precarious position. But we will not yield. We subscribe to no faith, and we bend the knee for no king. We shall greet our enemies at Twinsgate with cold, hard steel. Our newest weapon, the Death Knell, is nearly complete. With it, we shall strike back at Hyzant. The false goddess shall crumble beneath the sheer force of our iron will, and Hyzant reduced to rubble along with her. Raise your swords, my black iron heroes. Your names shall be cast in iron when the histories of this day are written. You shall be known as the defenders of Esfrost.
For Esfrost! Oh yes. The Death Knell will reduce many a falsehood to rubble, dear Gustadolf.
Oh boy. So many plots. Plots within plots also. This is going to be interesting.
Hyzant has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Norzelian mines.
Everybody's going there.
Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twins Gate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
I do believe we're gonna have to decide soon on what we do. Oh, this is gonna be, oh boy. That's a lot of triangles. But here's the thing though. Like, X-Harm has been like our buddy. So maybe he'll, no, he won't. We're on chapter 17.
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time, so it is only natural I make the journey. I wish to tell you that I finally made up my mind.
And I would hear your decision if you were willing to share it with me.
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. 30 years have passed, yet the root of our conflict remains the same. Each nation still thinks only of itself, wishing to fill its coffers even at the expense of others. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so. The avarice of the ruler is an existential threat to their loyal subjects.
And yet without that wealth, the people suffer just as much. They languish in poverty.
This much is obvious. But there can be no winner without a loser. Remove one, and you necessarily remove the other. If we achieve equality, we achieve peace.
And how do you propose we achieve? No. No, surely you don't mean...
Yes. The goddess's teachings. All can live as equals under the goddess. An authority greater than any king. The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. The holy state of Hyzant. I have decided that we must give the salt crystals in the Grand Norzelian mines to Hyzant.
And in so doing, you'll give them control of all Norzelia.
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know eternal peace at last.
Unequal peace, surely. One built on the backs of a people like the Roselle, if not the Roselle themselves.
I am not blind to that fact. But so few will suffer for the good of so many. Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many. It's the only clear answer, and one I would give every time I were asked.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown. My pride. They're but small prices to pay for peace.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa. Let us unite Norzelia under the Holy State.
Roland, this is quite sudden.
I understand. Pray, take all the time you need. I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you. But I shall not be swayed. This will be my final act as Glenbrook's king.
Oh boy. Time to take the crown for ourselves.
King Roland's anguish plays plainly across his face. It pains me to see him so tortured.
I'm not surprised. The future of our kingdom, to say nothing of the entire continent, rests upon his shoulders.
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about the salt crystals?
In truth, I cannot decide. Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've a duty to share it with the people, which is...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. The source makes that all too clear. Salt lies at the heart of every war in Norzelia.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed. We'd have no need of conflict if there were a source of salt for all.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt crystals has made two things plain to me. The first is that my mother spoke true in the legend she passed on to me.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings are nothing more than a lie built to constrain your people.
Just so. We are guilty of nothing. Yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work until they die. Entire generations lost, countless lives given to Hyzant's cruelty. Cruelty created to justify Hyzant's own avarice and lust for power.
Such is the ugly lie at the heart of their teachings.
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The Roselle must be freed. The soul crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the Roselle to rise up and rebel against their captors.
I am with you. Believe me, I am. But you make it sound so...
Simple. Yes, I know. But the suffering of my people is so distant for everyone else. We can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing. Help isn't coming. Why else would my own mother incite rebellion? We are alone.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. The Roselle live in my domain. I am betrothed to you, my dear. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you by my side. I do. In truth, that's why I think this time will be different. Why I'll be able to accomplish what my mother could not.
Yeah, dog, let's just go invade Hyzant.
I agree, but the risk is immense. Suppose we succeed, what then? Hyzant will not let us go quietly.
Of course not.
And when that time comes, you can lead the Roselle to Centralia, just as your mother wrote about in the book she left behind. Beyond the Great Falls in the Folk's domain at the end of the Norzelia River, the ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted in truth. Perhaps this one is as well. And if not, at least you'll be safe from harm.
I doubt Benedict will share our feelings, though. Abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey fraught with danger in search of a legend. Yet no matter how perilous the path ahead, I would happily walk it at your side.
Well, who said I was going? You was going, not me. Hey there, Quintuple. How you doing?
I trust you understand what a monumental effect the discovery of these salt crystals will have on Norzelia's history. Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether House Wolfort leaves a legacy in that history or is expunged from it.
How would you proceed, Benedict?
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into Hyzant's hands. They already control the source. With the crystals in hand, they will solidify their grip on the realm and in time dominate it. The siren song of a false equality under their goddess shall blanket the land, claiming every domain and its people.
Even though they count me among the Saintly Seven?
Even then, for that matters little when the equality they espouse is dictated by the goddess, or should I say, the Hierophant. In the end, they will have the same life and death control over all Norzelia that they now hold over the Roselle.
And our wounds from the battle with Esfrost have only begun to heal. Hyzant will destroy us if we wage war against them in our current state.
But they stand little chance against us if we ally with Esfrost.
Oh,
Ally with Esfrost? Are you of sound mind, Benedict?
Quite. Think about it for a moment. Esfrost wants nothing more than to loosen Hyzant's grip. They will go to war if it means control of the salt crystals.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but...
Esfrost has been building toward precisely that purpose for some time now.
You speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable of reducing the goddess's shield to rubble, leaving Hyzant's capital ripe for the taking. Without that weapon, we cannot win. You need only say the word, and I shall convince Esfrost to join our side.
I appreciate your candor, Benedict, and I do not doubt you could secure Esfrost's cooperation. But I fear the harder fight is within our own domain. King Roland's heart will not be easily won.
I bid you listen closely and calmly to what I'm about to ask.
Benny, what are you about to say?
From whence this somber tone?
Do you believe King Roland is fit to rule?
What are you implying?
Benny?
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake, Lord Serenoa. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king. He is my friend.
And you are Lord of House Wolfort, whose military prowess is known to all Norzelia. Not the guard dog of Glenbrook and Hyzant. What else are you here to do, if not to protect your house and keep its banner aloft? But you have the potential for so much more. All Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright regicide. These are your suggestions.
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal family's ring are claim enough to the throne. There is no need for violence.
I told you not to speak of that again.
But you did not tell me to forget. The time to reckon with your lineage draws near. You must make a...
I've heard enough. Leave me.
Just know that I will do anything you ask of me, Lord Serenoa. I pray that you make the right choice, not only for House Wolfort, but for yourself.
Goddamn, Benny. Oh, shit. Well, now we have a decision to make. Holy cow. Well, Chad, I hope you're ready. This is going to be one hell of a decision. You want it to be this stream? Of course. Of course. Now's the time.
You are certain Hyzant's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzant.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals. Which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzant's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Roselle not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzant's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Roselle, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzant. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzant seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzant will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
The vote we take today may very well open a rift between us. Nevertheless, it must proceed, and I am prepared to accept its outcome. Ooh. Now let's have chat decide as I go through the town. No, not a prediction. A poll. What do we do? Do we surrender the mine? Do we ally with S-Frost? S-Front? S-Frost? Do we save the Roselle and escape? Alright, boys. Got 3 minutes. To think King Roland, Lady Frederica, and Sir Benedict's convictions would diverge so greatly after all this time. Just between you and me, Lord Serenoa, what do you make of their plans? Exodus, yeah, there we go. I believe Benedict's plans to use S-Frost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top. I believe that Benedict plans to use S-Frost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top of all of Norzelia. I think Roland intends to put his personal feelings aside to bring peace and equality to everyone. Frederica's wish is a human one. She desires to liberate those who have been cruelly oppressed. Alright, what do we go for? 1, 2, or 3? Feels very Moses, Frederica. So he would join forces with the duchy not only to survive, but to prepare for the final stage of his plan. I think it's a strategy that no ordinary tactician would come up with. I would certainly not want him as my enemy. Thankfully for us, he is House Wolfort's most loyal retainer. Indeed he is. Though it does make me wonder if everything he has done is simply for the sake of our house or something more. Everyone's choices are deeply rooted in their convictions. It makes me wonder if they'll be able to abide by the Scale's decisions. Lord Serenoa, it will fall to you to lead everyone down the right path. Of course, I wish for all of us to walk astride the same path as we always have. Lord Serenoa, I can't help but feel that our greatest battle lies ahead regardless which path you choose. I know this may not be the best time to say so, but my wife gave birth to our first child not a few days ago. You are a father before a soldier. It is your duty to protect your own house before that of Wolfort. I will not force you to march with us. I ask only that you act according to your own convictions. We must pull together if we are to emerge victorious. I ask that you see us through this final battle. Might I have time to think about it, my lord? Of course, the path before me diverges as well. I must also take time to think before making a decision. Let us both choose a path that leaves us with no regrets. We're going with S-Frost. Oh boy. Oh, I don't even leave town? That would be funny though. Just a straight up vote.
However,
here we stand after a bitter fight to reclaim the crown city, only for the king to speak of forsaking it. As his subject, it is my duty to follow his decree, and yet... My lord, the choice before us feels immense. I am utterly adrift. Pray tell me, how do you see the proposals from King Roland and the others? I need your guidance. I wish to place my faith in Frederic. No, we went Esfrost, so Benny. Do you wish to enact Benedict's stratagem? What leads you to believe we should ally with Esfrost? An alliance with Esfrost gives us iron, and we already have the salt. Together we will cower before Hyzant no longer. The people do not deserve to be cast aside or given over to some other nation. They deserve protection, and we will provide it. To surrender the salt crystals would be to surrender our last remaining weapon. We would be but puppets to the Hierophant. Ooh, it's a good one. I'd say 2, but... Oh, who's gonna cut? Who's gonna cut? We've got a tie here. Guys, please. Well... You have the right of it, my lord. They will take everything we hold dear as suits their perverse vision of equality. And we only need to look to the Roselle to see how well they tolerate dissent. Indeed, if not for the esteem we gained in their eyes, we would never have reclaimed the capital. But we owe them no more. If we submit to their rule,
But...
I shudder to think what will become of us. Thus your use of the salt crystals to establish our standing with them. Oh, okay, well, she decided not to change. What about Gila?
What do you need?
Each path before us demands a great sacrifice in exchange for a great reward. I'm sure King Roland, Benedict, and Frederica have agonized over their proposals.
Well...
So now we must agonize over our own decisions. Pray, tell me what drives you to embrace Benedict's strategy. The land shall belong to House Wolfort so long as I draw breath. Any concession to Hyzant is like as not to result in the theft of our kingdom in the name of their perverse sense of equality. Oh, well, these are pretty rough. Perhaps the contribution of our domain and the crystals, coupled with the fall of Esfrost, should win us unfathomable esteem in their eyes.
Well, what if...
Though the Saintly Seven controlled the Salt and thought nothing of oppressing the Roselle to maintain their hold of power. So yes, I see little reason why they would look kindly upon recent converts such as ourselves making such an entrance. And all the while we would know the truth that the goddess' teachings are a lie.
I don't know.
Precisely, we would meet a swift end indeed, were they to find out what we know. Yes, there are plenty of reasons to strike them down now. What outcome do you foresee? Provided we have the salt crystals and the death snell in hand, victory shall be ours. That the people of Glenbrook shall be treated no better than the Roselle under Hyzant's rule. I'm thinking too. She's more of a people person. Yeah.
I wonder about that.
On what grounds? Glenbrook is a kingdom of unbelievers, and we cannot guarantee every last one of our subjects will take up the goddess's teachings. Are you not taking a rather dim view of all of this? I should think nearly all of them will.
But...
Or at the very least feign that they have, if that is the cost of living in peace and harmony. Perhaps they are as flexible and resilient as you say. I should certainly like to believe so. They are, for better or worse, useless as it is to tell you now. You needn't worry about the people. Rather, I fear they are too pliable, and will learn to hate the Roselle ere long. Also indifferent. Oh boy, I'm messing up bad here.
Lord Saranoa.
Benedict and King Roland would march us to war. Frederica would see Hyzant hunt us for all eternity. Perhaps her vision is not so different. So that it has come to this. Ally with a one-time opponent or flee with the Roselle.
However,
bold proposals, all our tactics must be flawless. We'll go with Benny. Why has Benedict's strategy swayed you? I cannot abide the Holy State's control of salt supplies, built as it is on a lie meant to justify exploiting an entire people. I believe we can use the salt crystals to coax Esfrost into alliance against Hyzant. Anna's more like very she's a thinker. True, our goals align for the moment, which means Gustadolf may entertain negotiations.
in that case,
We will offer our salt and military might in exchange for the death knell? Yes, the one weapon that could reduce the goddess's shield to rubble. Sound and logical proposal, and one with a fair chance of succeeding.
But
though we are not the only ones prepared to test a new weapon. Hyzant has Elfric at its disposal, yes. Its use in battle, however, is severely limited, especially in a siege. If that is their only weapon, perhaps we shall have little trouble.
Aye, lad.
Our Swin blood fed this land, built it into a proper domain. I see no reason why we should surrender it all to Hyzant. And Lady Frederica, while I sympathize, asks that we risk everything for the sake of the Roselle.
Here's what I think.
Benedict's got the right of it, I reckon. But even that doesn't quite quiet the nagging feeling that I get every time I think about our options. You think Benedict will get us through this too? How do you reckon? Our duty has always been to the Wolford domain and its people. We must stop at nothing to protect them both. To control the salt crystals. As such, there is precious little to be gained by allying with Hyzant. I have seen how Hyzant treats the Roselle. There is no reason to expect they will treat us as equals. Oh, it's probably duty bound. Duty boy. Going with one. Uno. Aye. We've no way of knowing if the domain will be spared if we submit to Hyzant. And trying to free the Roselle is a sure way to get ourselves killed. Let's decide with Esfrost and take the Holy State off the map then, right? Indeed, we must learn to look past Esfrost's transgressions if we are to protect what matters most. I expected nothing less from the Lord of the House. Excellent reasoning, truly. Oh boy. So, this might not even be, like, what if Gustadolf decides, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna take the whole land. Why not?
Serenoa.
Must give Hyzant the salt crystals, cow Esfrost, and unite all of Norzelia in the name of the goddess. Else we will never know peace. The Roselle will continue to suffer, that is true, but this will end the war as we know it, and countless more will live in peace as equals.
I have made my decision.
I will see this done not for the people of Glenbrook, but for all of Norzelia. Roland, you're the king. Surely cooperation with Hyzant need not mean the forfeit of the kingdom.
I think not.
That is where you are wrong, my friend. My time on the throne has shown me that the people need a force more powerful than any king to show them the way. There are many paths that lead us out of the war, Roland. Cooperating with Esfrost, for instance. End the war by allying the very Archduke who set this in motion? No. Cooperating with that tyrant lends nothing. His avarice has brought only pain and suffering to this land.
Moreover,
If anyone understood the torturous path I've taken to arrive at this decision, I thought it would be you, Serenoa. Bruh.
My lord.
We share a common goal with Frost at the moment. It is incumbent upon us to seize that opportunity and rid Norzelia of Hyzant for good. Indeed, the salt crystals make an alliance with Frost possible, but Roland would never assent to it. He feels the weight of the crown, underestimates his own abilities, and has allowed his hatred for Gustadolf to cloud his judgment. I sympathize, but those matters should have no bearing on the welfare of our house. Perhaps you are right. What about Frederica's vision? You concede that her plans concern our house?
Quite impossible.
I concede nothing, for her strategy is out of the question. She asks us to forfeit all we have fought to build in this domain. How can I reasonably entertain such a proposition? And you'll brook no argument otherwise? None.
We must decide.
May I remind you that you are Lord of House Wolffort. Your duty is to your people above all else.
I believe I've reached a decision.
This moment requires a dispassionate mind. I pray you have one.
Serenoa.
I always hate the games where they tuck the golden route behind having a walkthrough to know which decisions at which point in the game are crucial. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's fine. You know, you don't have to have the best run through. Only we can free the Roselle and expose the lie that has kept them in bondage these many years. However, we must move quickly while their gaze is fixed upon the salt crystals. I believe we can succeed. I hear your plea, yet I cannot help but wonder if you wish to act with too much haste.
But
I know what I can do to prove to you, but I have thought this through. I swear to you, this is no fit of pique. Benedict's stratagem may also provide the chance to strike at Hyzant. Would that not be enough? It also prolongs this war, and thus the immense suffering of my people. Even if we do prevail, you know as well as I that my brother is not a merciful man, and he'll not spare so much of a thought for the weak. That is true. The Roselle's plight would then be buried once more amid the negotiations between our nations. You see, the time is now. Only we have the power to save them. Power we forfeit if we assent to Roland's plan.
I have decided.
His is the one vision for our future that I cannot abide. Perhaps my concerns seem narrow when all of Norzelia is at stake, but I know you can save my brothers and sisters. I beg you, consider it. Ugh. All right, let's do it. Let's see if chat is right.
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are many. Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible that we get this wrong.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I've made up my mind and I stand with you, Lord Serenoa.
You have my vote.
I have put my faith in you, Lord Serenoa. Oh boy, that's two. We only need one more.
I cannot be swayed.
And it's a lock. Oh boy.
I'm with you.
There we go. So we're going with Benny's plan.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Oh, I'm sure this won't backfire.
The way forward is decided. We will follow Benedict's plan and join forces with Esfrost to lay Hyzant low.
So Roland's gonna leave. I'm glad I upgraded him for nothing. We have taken more stupid decisions and they've never backfired. That's true.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
Of lords and lineages. Oh boy, I wonder what we're gonna do.
We've chosen our path. We shall ally with Esfrost and strike at the heart of the holy state of Hyzant.
So you would kiss Gustadolf's feet and bribe him with salt? I cannot abide this idiocy. You will defeat Hyzant only to be conquered by Esfrost.
We are well aware of Gustadolf's cunning. He shan't take advantage of us.
You would ally with them only to stab them in the back later?
If need be.
Have you no shame?
Says the king who would deliver his own people to Hyzant.
Yes, for that is how we secure peace for the many at the expense of the few.
You know that is not true. Hyzant will conquer all Norzelia if we give them the salt crystals. All will be forced to worship at the feet of the goddess and follow her orders. Just as the Roselle have at the source.
I see House Wolford is determined to walk their path astride Esfrost. But as King of Glenbrook, I will not allow it. Lord Wolford, I command you to march on the duchy and strike down Gustadolf.
What?
You remain my vassal. I dare you to defy me.
Roland, don't do this.
Roland, your majesty.
You are bound by nothing, Lord Serenoa. You are no one's vassal.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Benny!
Now is not the time, Benedict.
Benny! What are you doing?
Lord Serenoa is not the son of Lord Simone. His true parentage is none other than His Majesty King Regna.
You cannot be serious!
King Regna fell in love with Lady Destra, a commoner living in the Crown City. When it came to light that she was with child, King Regna bowed to pressure from the royalists and had Lord Simone take her in. She bore a son, who you know today as Serenoa, heir to House Wolford.
If this is true, and you are my elder brother, then you are not bound by my command.
Hold! Roland is the one with the royal ring, is he not? Even if this story is true, is it not Roland who holds claim to the throne?
Roland was not the only one entrusted with a royal ring.
So you possess one as well, Serenoa.
I do.
Benny, you absolute mad lad.
Genuine. There's no mistaking it. What Benedict says must be true. I've always admired you, Serenoa. I knew from the moment we met that you were worthy of respect. I always felt you to be my better, even as a leader. Yet I still felt a closeness with you I could never place. Now, at last, I have.
Roland,
all the more reason why I cannot concede to you now. Least of all to you, dear brother.
Brother.
Serenoa Wolfort, I challenge you to a duel.
Oh, Roland, no.
To the victor goes the crown.
Pray let us think about this.
On your guard, Serenoa. I do not say this in jest.
Guess we're doing regicide.
Cease this quarreling at once. Stop them, Benedict.
No, Benny just wants this.
I cannot. They must settle this here and now if we are to move forward.
Licking his chops.
Listen to Benedict. This is not your fight. Do you have the courage of your convictions, brother?
Roland, stop this madness. I have no desire to sit upon the throne. I only wish to aid you in protecting our kingdom, the only home we've ever known.
I have no doubt. You've been a peerless friend. I would trust you with my life. But the truth has been revealed and our paths diverge. You said it yourself. There can only be one way forward.
That has naught to do with our lineage. Our bloodlines need not be shackles.
Shackles? Ha! I have fought tooth and nail to protect what you now decry.
I know you have suffered, brother.
How can you? You who had your father's love, the unwavering trust of your subjects. Proved yourself time and again so effortlessly. I ask you to prove yourself once more.
Roland, please.
I have toiled in your shadow while you led House Wolfort to glory. I have revered you and envied you in equal measure. I long to be like you, and I long to claim victory over you. Just once.
I am not worthy of such adulation. Nor am I alone the reason we've come this far. We are all in this together.
I knew you would seek to erase yourself from our history if you knew how I felt. Don't you dare shrink from me! Stand and fight so I can best you!
I have no will to fight you, brother. I want none of this.
Life does not always turn out how we want. Of this, you and I are now keenly aware. You asked me to put aside my feelings when you talked of joining with Esfrost. Now I ask you to do the same. Prove to me that you have what it takes to deal with Esfrost and crush Hyzant. That you can cut out a part of yourself to do what you think must be done. Show me you can create this bold new future you speak of.
Very well. The scales of conviction have spoken, and House Wolfort shall heed their word. If you would stand in our way and seek to prevent us from walking the path we have chosen, so help me, as Lord of House Wolfort, I shall cut you down where you stand.
Yes,
Let us see who is the better between us! On your guard.
No! It's going Super Saiyan! Super Saiyan Blue!
Seems it was me, dear brother.
In the end, I cannot escape your shadow. Kill me. It is only fitting that it is you who strikes the final blow.
What will become of Glenbrook?
That is up to you. I leave the kingdom in your hands. You have the ring, the royal blood. And it was House Wolfort that reclaimed the kingdom. The people and the nobles will assent to your rule. So long as I am gone.
This is no time to waver, Lord Serenoa. King Roland initiated the duel. The terms are his to dictate.
Benny!
Letting him live will only prolong our troubles.
Benny!
You think I do not know that? You ask the impossible. My friend, my brother, is not meant to die by my hand.
You are cruel in your kindness, Serenoa. I have neither the constitution nor the fortitude to be king. I cannot lead as you can, as our father did. I saw the terrifying limits of my abilities, and sought the sweet release of surrendering to a higher power. Would you have such a coward live?
I've watched you confront these parts of yourself for as long as I can remember.
You know, isn't he doing the same thing? Surrendering to a higher power?
You strive to better yourself, to better everyone. You had my undying loyalty and trust. Oh, how I admired you, my friend. How I longed to follow in your footsteps.
And follow you did. But now you must overtake me.
I shall. Just promise me one thing. Promise me that you will watch over me. Every breath, every step, every word from my lips.
We just upgraded
him. The moment you see me stray, you will set me back on the right path.
This I shall do, seeing as you bested me in combat. Farewell, Serenoa. May we never meet again as brother or friend.
Not the parting I would have preferred, but as Roland himself noted, life does not always turn out as we want.
Not another word, Benedict. I do not trust myself to show restraint.
My love.
Benny's just going ham
At
here.
least we have settled on a path forward. There is work to do.
Benedict is like the guy in the classroom with the throbbing veins. Yeah, pretty much.
King Roland!
Huette, no!
Leave me, Huette.
I cannot do that. Or have you forgotten that you are my one and only sworn liege?
Then take this as an order from that liege. Serve Serenoa, as you once served me. I am the only one who need walk this path.
Your Majesty.
Dry your tears, Huet. It is unbecoming for a proud member of the King's Guard.
How can you say that? I never expected our parting to be like this.
I am sorry. But there is something I would tell only you by way of apology. My disagreement with Serenoa and hatred of Esfrost were no lies. I will walk this path, carrying these feelings with me, perhaps forever. But my unwillingness to ally with Esfrost runs deeper than a personal grudge.
Is it because you cannot trust Gustadolf?
It is his idea of freedom I cannot trust. In a world of unbridled ambitions, people will stop at nothing to claim power. The strong will prosper, while the weak will struggle to survive.
So if we join forces with Esfrost, then someday Glenbrook will.
Yes. His ideals of freedom will inevitably create a clear division between the strong and the weak. I cannot abide by that.
I do not think Lord Serenoa wishes for a world like that.
Nor do I. But Benedict will stop at nothing to defeat Hyzant. Who knows what will happen once he joins forces with Gustadolf?
I understand. You wish for me to stay and watch over House Wolfort.
Yes. You must take care of Serenoa in my place. And Cordelia as well.
You have my word. You needn't worry about a thing, Your Majesty.
You were a loyal and true knight, Huet. And for that, you have my eternal thanks.
Well, we got some stuff to put back in. You know, no. Oh, we still got a spear. Unity to paralyze. Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say, well, maybe Gila. She's a healer, but no. Unity to paralyze. Who could use an immunity to paralyze? Serenoa? Yeah, good idea. Give a strength ring to Ian's. And I think we'll call it there for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully the path we have taken is the right one. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, and don't forget, we got a stream in 3 hours. We're going to be playing Pokemon, the card game. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.